which could often only be produced with support from television stations and then quickly disappeared into TV archives. There are films still talked about in Tehran and in Berlin, copies on VHS, sometimes a beta SP, where the black and white images have melted into just light and dark spots. Films that have burned themselves into the memory precisely because they are so inaccessible. There are films that were never forgotten by his companions, individual favorites that have been set apart. And behind this, there's also a fragmented life. Born and raised in Iran, 1944, Saleh spent time in Vienna and Paris to study film. He shot his two beautiful first feature films, 1974, in Bandar-e Torkaman at the Caspian Sea, presenting them both that same year at the Berlinale. He decided to move to Germany, where he struggled to receive funding for his film projects. He shot the film in Kabul, and his beloved Anton Chekhov provided the motivation for co-productions shot in Czechoslovakia. His films were screened in Cannes, Locarno, and at many more international film festivals. Sometimes he would take time off at the Baltic Sea and time and again make efforts to obtain a residence permit, the certificate to finally arrive in Germany, but the suitcase years continued. Discrimination became part of everyday life and continuously manifested in Saleh's letters as great exhaustion to the point of despair when he left Germany for North America in 1992. In Japan, there is a tradition called kintsugi, a method of repairing ceramics that uses gold lacquer to attach the broken pieces to one another. Using this method, a golden shimmer shines through in the future where previously a crack had separated the parts of the whole from one another. This metaphor also speaks to the idea being followed by the Shahid Saleh's archive. Founded with support from the Goethe Institute, it has taken on itself the task of enabling access to a body of work without obliterating the cracks that once formed it. It feels like it belongs in a history of film that must always ask itself, why are some films inaccessible and others overrepresented? At the beginning of this project, almost 10 years ago, I was asked, how can we as film historians, as curators, manage to rewrite film history? The answer to this must be that film history is always in flux, that the old talk of a fixed film canon is based on a fallacy, because film history can develop anew with every festival, every restoration, but also with every individual viewer that discovers the film for themselves. That perspectives change and therefore can never remain subject to any fixed definition, but are always emerging in a perpetual process. Our archive project is attempting to do this. Since the Saleh's retrospective in Tehran in 2017, where 400 enthusiastic viewers, close to the Berlinale that some of you might know, went twice a day to the films that Saleh made in Germany. I have nurtured a wish. I've wished for a German audience that begin to take an interest in someone who has held up a mirror to them, so that today they can think differently about themselves and bring a new openness to their own history. Today, in the year that Sohrab Shahid Saleh would have celebrated his 80th birthday, Saleh's film is not running in a special section. It's not running as part of the retrospective of an alternate cinema. Sohrab Shahid Saleh is running with his 1976 film Time of Maturity in a very special section because it looks at special moments in film history. For this selection and recognition, I'm very grateful to Carlo Chatrian, Rainer Rother and Annika Haubs. Thank you very much.